Our next inductee, unfortunately, couldn't make it back from Italy tonight, but we created a video for him. This is Franco Harris.
Franco Harris was born in Fort Dix, New Jersey. His father served in World War II and his mother's from Italy. Franco attended Penn State University and rushed for 2,002 yards with 24 touchdowns while also catching 28 passes for 352 yards and another touchdown. In his first season with the Steelers, Harris was named the league's Rookie of the Year by both the Sporting News and United Press International. During his 13 NFL seasons, Harris gained 12,120 yards and scored 91 rushing touchdowns. He caught 307 passes for 2,287 yards and 9 receiving touchdowns.
Harris, 32, the running back.
Coming right at you. Here's a man that knows how to run.
Franco Harris, 1, 2, 3, 20, gets a block. The bread and butter man all year. Franco Harris all time.
Harris was chosen for 9 consecutive Pro Bowls, All-Pro in 1977, a 4-time Super Bowl champion, and the most valuable player of Super Bowl IX.
Franco Harris has been named the most valuable player in the Super Bowl game.
My wildest dream during the season was like scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Other things on my mind, and here it is.
Bradshaw giving it to Harris, getting a key block for Mullins, cutting to the left, cutting to Connery, to their right,
Franco founded the company Super Bakery, which delivers high-nutrition content foods to the armed forces, K-12, healthcare, and disaster relief sectors. He has served on the advisory board at Penn State's Center for Food Innovation and in 2009 was named a Conti Professor by Penn State's School of Hospitality Management. Franco and his wife Dana reside in Sewickley, Pennsylvania, and they have one son, Doc, who lives in Pittsburgh.
I'd like to thank the Gridiron Greats for this great honor of being inducted into your Hall of Fame. And also I'd like to thank you for the great work that you do for our players in need. And lastly, since I can't be there tonight, I'd like to thank Joe Greene for accepting this honor on my behalf. If you would watch Joe Greene run with a football, you'd understand why I chose him for this honor. Joe, thank you very much for being there. And once again, Gridiron Greats, thank you very much for this great honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, to accept Franco's award on his behalf, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Gridiron Greats Hall of Famer, the one and only Joe Greene.
Good evening. Are we still here? You know, I was mistaken once tonight and once 2 weeks ago for that guy. Now, that Franco is a special person. One of my favorite people in the world, and I call him my best friend. I want to thank the Gridiron Greats for all that they do. Shannon, Karen, Mark, you guys are great. You know, professional athletes are approached many times to do different things in their careers. When I was first approached by Gridiron Greats to be a part, and my part is a very small part. All I had to do is show up. But when it has the name Mike Ditka, the credibility is there. I don't have to ask any questions about the validity of what they're trying to get done. And since I've read the literature and been a part of this since my induction in 2013, I've seen the results. I played football in the National Football League for 13 years, and I was down in the trenches, and I butted heads quite a bit. I can tell you right now, I don't know about tomorrow, but today I have 7 grandkids. I know all their names. I've been married for 11 months to this wonderful lady here who brought my life back again after my wife of 47 years passed. So I understand the need of some of these guys that are less fortunate than myself that can't figure out what today is. And it's no fault of their own. It's just the business that they were in. My soapbox portion is that there are too many guys that say they played in the National Football League that was in a training camp in one day. And they are impeding the process of the guys that really played the game that need help. And I'm not going to be one of those guys at this point in my life to get in the way to impede the process of those men who direly need help. That's what the Gridiron Greats does. They block, they get rid of the hurdles that all of these young men go through when they're dealing with diseases and ailments that trying to get through the processes of the National Football League. So I want to thank the Gridiron Greats for what they've been doing over the years. Now I want to tell you about these Oakland Raiders. I am a Pittsburgh Steeler. And if you guys are old enough, you remember we had some epic battles. When football, in my view, was football. Everyone that wasn't involved in the game thought it was a great deal of animosity going on between the two. But what was happening out there was respect. Respect for how guys played the game the best that they could play, that made the other team play better than they could play. The Oakland Raiders, in my view, made many teams in the AFL, old AFL, and the new AFC play football. The New York Jets had to get through the Raiders to get to the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs had to get through the Raiders to go to the Super Bowl. The old Baltimore Colts had to get through the Raiders to get to the Super Bowl. The Miami Dolphins had to go through the Raiders to get to the Super Bowl. And the Pittsburgh Steelers had to go through the Oakland Raiders to get to the Super Bowl. So I give a lot of credit to the Oakland Raiders for making the Pittsburgh Steelers the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm talking about. And I have an awful lot of respect for the ghost to the post. I mean, they call him the ghost because you didn't see him. He was just there. And he made the catch. But it's a special, special treat to be here representing my good friend Franco. You know, when we drafted Franco, and I had already experienced 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years of losing. 4 years we probably won. I think we won 1 the first year, 4 the second year, 5 the third year, another 5. Franco was on the scene. #1 draft choice. In practice, we give the ball to Franco. He's going, pardon me, he's going against the #1 defense. Franco would get the ball, run to the right, stop, go back to the left, stop. Then he'd stand and pause and look. Then the guys on defense were looking at Franco and saying, "What's he doing?" And finally, we'll go back to the huddle. He'd take off and run all the way to the goalpost. Nobody was there. He kept doing that. I said, man, we got us a dud. We got us a dud and this guy from Penn State. But there was a game that we played in preseason against Atlanta. Franco gets into the game. Just like he did in practice, he ran to the right, stopped, ran to the left and stopped. All of a sudden, he took off 75 yards for a touchdown. In the middle of that run, I said, oh, shit. I started running with him. I started running. We got one. You have to know that when you experience so many seasons of losing, what you're looking for is help. And there he was. Before Franco, we never won a thing. This was 1972. This was the season of the Immaculate Reception versus the Raiders. And we, with Franco, we won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. In the middle of that, we were practicing in Palm Springs, getting ready to play the Raiders. And in the middle of practice, this is Chuck Nolan is a strong coach. No nonsense. Right there in the middle of practice, Frank Sinatra and his group walks out in the middle of the field, glass of champagne, bottle of champagne, some cheese, and they induct Mr. Franco Harris into the Frank Sinatra Italian Army. And let me tell you, for Pittsburgh, that's special. That's real special. And Chuck just standing there looking like, what is going on? What the world? We ended up losing the game to the Raiders that year. That was 73. But I want to tell you, because of Franco and a lot of other great players we had, it was a great experience. So I've been a fan of football since, 15 years old, something like that. I watched Clem playing for the Raiders. Jim Brown was a big fan. I was a big fan of his. I wanted to be a running back. That's why he was talking about Joe Greene being a running back. No good. My first year in the league, I played against John Allen. And he, I don't know if you guys know what a leg whip is, but a leg whip is when you take your leg and you kick it around and you hit the guy in the chest with it. He did that pretty good. He did a lot of stuff that was not real legal. But when he had that walk with Tom Landry put the guard in him and he stopped doing all that bad stuff. That's why he got traded. Yeah, John and a lot of these guys I saw and played against. On behalf of Franco, Dana, his wife, and Doc, I'm sure that he would want to congratulate all of the award winners. It's a great thing to participate. I want to personally congratulate Kyle Turley on his great impression of mine when he had that helmet going down the field trying to wipe out the team. But he contributed a game check. So did Matt Burke. I didn't know anything about that. But I watched him when I was coaching and in my scouting capacity, and a guy from Harvard, 6'5" and maybe 220 pounds at the time, how is he going to play center in the National Football League? But he did. He made All-Pro. And the stature of a center in the National Football League, height-wise is usually around 6'2", 315 pounds, something like that. Because it's about a game of leverage. At 6'5", you don't have it. But he managed it, and that's a tribute to him to play all those years in the National Football League and to be all-pro and have success. So it's a great game that we play, and these gentlemen that play it for fun like I did. It's not to boast and pat yourself on the chest that, I'm great. Those guys that you've seen tonight, they don't do that. They just play it to have fun and enjoy themselves and play to win. And that is what the Gridiron Greats are doing, is playing to win and helping these young men that need help. Thank you so much.